All right, folks, now it's time. We're going to talk about the RfR Online Community. And with me to kind of talk about it are the two directors for that program. I've got with me John Lionheart and Steve Ironside. Hey, guys, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Steve, why don't you tell me kind of briefly a little bit about yourself, like where you're located and how long you've been volunteering for RfR?
Sure. So I started with RfR just as the pandemic was kind of hitting the climax, I guess, in Canada here. I had thought about volunteering for RfR for a little while, and then I thought I don't have 4 hours a month to give because I got two young kids and I've got a wife who's a believer and all that stuff. So I was just thinking, like, maybe if something big happens, I'll have an opportunity. And then the pandemic hit and I had a whole bunch of extra time, and perfect timing, and to join the helpline and started off as a helpline agent. And then we had a shift in helpline directors, and the new director was looking to go in another direction with the online community. And he approached John and I about partnering and taking that on. So decided to do that, and it's been great. I'm actually in Canada, and there's actually a growing list of volunteers in Canada, which is nice. We're trying to cover this area of the world, so that's pretty story how I got involved with RfR.
I love it. John, what about you? How long have you been volunteering for RfR? Where are you located, and what got you interested in this?
So I'm located in California, despite my English accent. I immigrated over here in 1987 for work on the Challenger, after the Challenger disaster. About a year and a half ago, I saw actually a tweet looking for people who were interested in volunteering their time for recovering from religion. I used to be involved with religion until about 2002. I used to be Mormon, LDS, and I saw the error of my ways and changed that. And so I decided I would go to the volunteer sheet within the RfR and fill out an application, and they very kindly accepted that application. So so I've been involved with RfR for about a year and a half right now, and along with Steve, we're now both co-directors of the online community.
And you've got a couple of other volunteers that kind of help run the community. And we'll get back into that in a little bit. But first, let's kind of talk about what the RfR online community is. Steve, you want to give kind of a brief breakdown of what it is? And then I'll go to John and ask him kind of what problem it solves.
Sure, yeah. So the RfR Online Community, a private group that's within RfR that members that are clients and volunteers can interact in a safe space and kind of share their fears, their upbringing, other issues related to religion without the prying eyes of people from the outside world.
So John, what do you feel like this solves? What kind of problem does this solve?
It certainly, I think it solves a wonderful problem for those who are looking at recovering from religion. It gives them community, and that's a wonderful aspect. We have many people who call into the helpline and they say, I'm struggling. I'm in a predominantly a religious neighborhood or a religious state. Some of these states, of course, are heavily Christian or heavily religious, and they just need to be able to talk. And air out their views and concerns. And so the online community is an excellent place to be able to do that. So it helps them to deal with the issues that they have going on in their own private lives. And the other wonderful thing is that we have agents in there who are trained agents from the helpline, and it gives them the opportunity to additionally hone their skills as an agent and help clients or members with their issues. So you have to bear in mind that in the helpline, it's not always manned. Well, it is manned, but someone's not calling in every minute of the day. We have plenty of people who would love to be able to help other people. And so while people are not calling in or chatting in, they can go to the online community and help members who have joined.
And one of the things with the online community as well. Everyone has a pseudonym or a code name so that if in private they can do so. And one of the coolest things is seeing someone who is an agent in the helpline tack onto the person who they invited and say, hey, I was the agent that helped you and talked to you on the line, and now I can help you within the community as well.
Oh, that's pretty darn cool. This sounds very similar to the support group program, but in a slightly different way. Steve, what's different between the online community and the support groups?
Yeah, so the support groups are more like focused on kind of like roundtable discussion on, the issues that they're dealing with, and they can kind of go through some healing together. Whereas the community is more like just a community where people can come and share even like the highs and lows of what's going on in their life. Someone can say, hey, I'm writing a book right now, and I need some help editing it. This is the first page. Can anyone help me edit? Things like that. We also have like quite a few channels that have different topics, like practice street epistemology, so someone can become the next Anthony Magnabosco by practicing in there. That's the biggest thing. We do also have, which I'm running in 45 minutes, we're going to be doing a hangout, and it's a weekly hangout. Right now it's Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern, and basically we just get together and chat with it's a mixture of volunteers and clients, and we kind of just share what's going on in our lives and heal together, basically.
So this program is all on Slack, from the sound of it, and in Slack there's a bunch of different channels, and you had mentioned one of them, Steve. John, what are some of the other types of channels that people can join when and if they are interested in participating in the online community?
Okay, well, there are a host of channels. We have people, of course, having been involved with religion. A lot of people have a lot of sexual issues associated with having been involved with religion. So we have an LGBTQ plus channel for people who can now talk about their issues. And we also have a sex channel as well for those who have really struggled with other sex-related issues. Then we have a channel for Australia. We have a lot of people now in Australia who are really excited about recovering from religion. So we have a private channel for those who actually live in Australia. We have an addiction channel, and that could be any form of addiction. We have, of course, a Christian channel, a Mormon, ex-Mormon channel, a Jewish. So as you can see, there's quite a variety there that people can actually ask to join. We have also an Islamic channel.
That sounds fantastic. And Steve, we also have like a secular parenting type of channel, and a former and ex-military channel. I would imagine that kind of in your position, as you mentioned, you have a believing partner, that someone like you wanting to kind of understand how to raise a kid would be able to ask some sort of questions and talk with other folks who are struggling with that too. Is that kind of how it would work?
Definitely. And I have people reaching out to me all the time because I make no secret that I have a believing spouse and I'm raising them to be free thinkers. A big influence on me has been Dale McGowan. He's a very well-respected author in the category of secular parenting. I've shared a lot of his podcasts and his books with other members. I get people private messaging me all the time, clients asking, because someone will point them in my direction, and I'll send them on a journey to discover how to raise kids in a secular way.
Got it. So Steve, what do the volunteers, like how many volunteers, and kind of what do they do inside of the programs?
Right. So we have on paper, we have 105 volunteers within the online community. And those all migrated over from the helpline. So when they go through the one-on-one training with the helpline trainers, they get introduced to the online community, and they kind of see what we can do on the side as well. And some of them stick around and help out as moderators, and some of them just decide it's not for them. They just want to do the helpline. They want to do the chat line, all that stuff. But basically, within the volunteer channel, we have 102. So like I said, 105 on paper, but 102 are in there right now. And they act as moderators for all the channels. So we used to have a program where we would have certain moderators for each of the channels, but it kind of got to the point where some people were not being utilized efficiently. So those volunteers are now moderators as well. So in every single channel, all of those volunteers can come in and add their 2 cents. They can comment on posts that have already been made. They can add new posts if they feel like there's something that hasn't been tackled in that channel yet. And they're there for moral support as well. If someone wants to direct message one of the agents, one of the volunteers, then they can totally do so, and we can help them with individual issues.
We forgot to mention one of the channels in there is empowering women channel.
Oh, cool.
And that's a private channel purely for those who are female, who want to just join the community and talk about their perhaps feminine issues or whatever issues they would like to chat with in that particular channel. So we have that private channel purely for those people.
That was just a point of detail. Is that channel for folks who own uteruses, or is it for anybody who identifies as a female?
There has been some controversy in the past about that, because there are people who identify as women, and we kind of left that up to the female volunteers to make that call, because John and myself are both not in that channel, so we have to rely on the female volunteers to kind of moderate that channel and let us know what's going on in there. And I know there's been a couple times where there have been individuals that identify as female and they have been permitted to be in that channel.
My experience in social media and in some Facebook groups or even on Twitter, really quickly, disagreements can go into attacking and be kind of a toxic environment. But it sounds like part of the moderator's job would be to quell that and keep it a safe and uplifting environment.
We've had issues in the past come up, and a lot of times they're pretty good at quelling that at the lowest level. But sometimes they do need to involve myself or John, or also we have our assistant director, and that is Tanya. She goes by Marie Curious. So people, other volunteers will approach us and say, hey, this is getting a little bit out of hand. What can we do here? And then usually John or myself or Tanya will message that individual and let them know where they're, pushing the guidelines a little bit. And if it happens to become a major issue, then we may have to deactivate their account. But we try and resolve it before it gets to that point, because we feel like everyone that's in there, deserves a chance to get help.
And does that happen very often? You have to, is it like every day or every month where you have to chastise somebody or remove somebody, or is it kind of a rare occurrence?
I can say that it's fairly rare. I'm quite pleased that we don't have that issue a great deal, but it's taken care of pretty quickly. And most people come to realize, oh, I didn't realize I couldn't do that,
Oh, got it.
And so they're pretty, I think they manage to deal with the issues. And it's pretty rare that we have to actually deactivate anyone. It does happen, but not very often.
Well, I'm glad you guys have got some great systems in place to kind of handle that. And it happens every now and then where someone just doesn't necessarily fit, and they come through whatever systems are there to keep the place safe. But you guys have developed some good systems to handle that pretty quickly. That sounds great. Now, John, how many clients or non-volunteers are inside of or currently a part of the RfR Online Community, and how would a person be able to join? Because it's not necessarily public.
Well, we actually have 1,926 people who have actually signed in to Slack. And of course, that is a large number, but a lot of those people, we have to bear in mind that RfR has been going now for quite a few years. And some of those people joined and are now totally inactive as such. Some of them do come back. They tend to wander off occasionally, feel as though that they have their issues all sorted out and they're going along on their merry way. But then other issues crop up and they get back in touch with recovering from relatives and say, hey, I joined the online community a few years ago. I need to get back involved with that a little bit more. So they come back. So we have a lot of inactive people, but it's always open for them to log in and come and chat.
John, how would somebody join and come into the RfR online community?
Well, okay, it's by invitation, and so when we have people who call in for help to the helpline community, either a telephone call or the chat facility, an agent will get chatting to them and find out what their issue is and try and help them as best they can. And if they feel that perhaps joining a community is something that would really help them, then they will offer and say, well, look, we have a community and perhaps the community might be able to help you in this situation, because we have many channels of topics that perhaps might be associated with some of your particular issues. And so we offer that to them. And then if they say, yeah, I think that would be really good, I think I might be interested in joining a community to be able to at least discuss some of the issues I have going on, then all we need from them is an email. Everything is held confidential. The only people that get the email will be someone who sends the invitation out, or that particular person might be an agent. And that agent will notify either Steve or myself, and then we send them a private email, and they then get two notifications. One will be an email from Recovery from Religion, and the second will be a Slack application to join us, because the Recovering from Religion online community is all organized and run by a Slack app.
Perfect. Now, before we kind of move on and wrap this up, Steve or John, is there anything else that we missed that you think should be important for folks to know about the RfR online community?
Perhaps something I'll mention now, which will perhaps lead on to the next topic, and that is that within the online community, we have a whole host of resources available to us as trained agents. And we pull those resources out of the Recovering from Religion library. And so we use those resources. As people have issues within the online community, we'll go to our library, we will find topics that might help them, and we will then post that for them. So that's sort of a nice lead into the library.
That's great. Steve, anything else that we missed that you think is important to talk about?
I just want to give another shout out to all the volunteers and agents we have within the online community. We wouldn't be able to do it alone. John and I are superhuman, but we can't do it without the other helpers. So big shout out to them. I don't want to mention them by name because there's so many of them that and another big shout out to Marie Curious for being our assistant director. She definitely bears the brunt of a lot of the issues as well. So big shout out to all the volunteers and for Recovering from Religion as a whole.
Okay, got it. And so basically, if someone wants to join the Slack community, head on over to call RfR, the helpline, or chat on the helpline, get an invitation. And it's a place where folks can have safe conversations and talk about some really topics that they're concerned about, that they're struggling with. And primarily, anonymity is something that you guys and all the volunteers strive to protect for the folks who are in there. And so to keep it a safe place. Awesome. All right. Before we wrap it up, John, tell me what has volunteering for the last year and a half been like for you? What have you gotten out of it?
Well, I'm more fortunate than perhaps Steve is, because I'm retired now, so I can spend a lot more time doing this, and which I thoroughly enjoy, to be honest. My wife still does work, but primarily I'm here on my own from Thursday through Friday, so I have the wonderful opportunity to be able to do a lot more things with Recovering from Religion. I get a great deal out of it. I just love helping people as best I can, and it's helped me, I guess, in a great deal. I don't think I was so deeply involved in religion like some people are, so it never really affected me when I left religion behind. But knowing that I can now volunteer my time and help people, that is, for me, is a big plus.
Awesome. I love that. Well, Steve, what about for you? What's volunteering been like for you while you've been here?
It's been an amazing experience for sure. And like John said, once the pandemic hit, I went down to like 1 day a week at work, and I was kind of working from home. So I had a lot of extra time to, sign into Slack, check out what's going on all the time, be on top of everything. John and I were talking probably daily, if not more than once a day, over the phone. And that's kind of trickled to, very little since I've had to go back to work full time. But I do find time to volunteer here and there and add my 2 cents and be able to hold up my end of the bargain. But it's been an amazing experience for things like with my spouse being religious and things like that. Like, I never went through a period in my life where I was religious, but just having more insight from other people in the community has helped me in my interactions with my spouse, because there's things I didn't understand about where she was coming from and things like that. So just interacting with folks in the online community and hearing their stories has opened my eyes a bit more and made me more accepting of her religious beliefs and where she's coming from.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, guys, John, Steve, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and introduce us to the RfR Online Community. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.